Everybody. Happy Friday, November 21st, 2025. Let's talk about how I create social media marketing content for my bookkeeping business. This is how I grew my bookkeeping business over the past 5 years. I doubled every single year. First year, I had 10 clients, and then 20 clients, and then 40. And then last year, I got up to 80 bookkeeping clients. I was making $40,000 per month. Now I still have 70 clients. I'm making $35,000 per month just from my bookkeeping clients, recurring monthly revenue. I'm not taking on any new clients anymore because I'm focused on my investment fund, but I still make these videos because I love talking about my bookkeeping business. So if you're watching live, feel free to ask questions. I'm going to be going live for the next 30 minutes. Once I get through my notes, I will do my best to answer everybody's questions. If you're watching the replay, consider watching live. Next week, I'm going to be going live every day at 10 a.m. And if you're listening to my podcast, I really appreciate your support. I'm on Apple and Spotify. If you want to watch the video, you can also check me out on YouTube under the exact same name, bookkeeping expert Zach Pasquarello. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right into my notes. How to pick content topics that actually attract bookkeeping clients, how to mix educational and personal stuff, simple ways to talk about bookkeeping, how to turn one idea into multiple posts across several platforms, how to stay consistent with content even while you're trying to grow your bookkeeping business, and how I track what works so I can double down on the best posts. Let's start with the first topic, how to pick content topics that attract bookkeeping clients. So I have three different types of posts that I was making when I got started. And it's actually been really interesting. Side note, I have really begun to appreciate what you all are going through right now because I'm trying to grow Zip Capital. So with Harrisburg Bookkeeping, I don't really need to create a ton of content because I already have 70 clients. So my bookkeeping business just honestly kind of runs on autopilot right now. And I'm turning down clients every day because people still call me because I have 200 Google reviews and I've got a good reputation and word of mouth referrals. It spreads pretty quickly. But with Zip Capital, with my investment fund, I am getting to re-experience everything that you are experiencing right now. I'm getting to redo everything I did 5 years ago. I'm getting to test my strategies all over again. And let me just say, everything I did 5 years ago to grow Harrisburg Bookkeeping, I'm doing the exact same thing right now with Zip Capital. So people ask me all the time, is bookkeeping a good business to start? What's going to happen in the next 2 years? Is bookkeeping going to go away? Are we going to be replaced by artificial intelligence? I have no idea. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. But what I do know is that by you starting a bookkeeping business, you are going to learn so many good skills. Even if I knew for a fact that bookkeeping would be 100% gone in 2 years, I would still recommend you start a bookkeeping business. If you're passionate about numbers and business and finances and taxes and accounting and Excel spreadsheets, which let me just say, it takes a special kind of person to be a good bookkeeper. But if you're that kind of person and you want to start a business, I strongly recommend do it anyway, no matter whatever's going to happen in the future, do it anyway, because you are going to learn so many valuable skills, general skills about starting a business by starting a bookkeeping business specifically. You're going to learn how to get an LLC, EIN, business bank account, payment processor, marketing, sales, customer service. You are going to learn so many incredible skills. So don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Do it anyway. Okay, how to pick content topics that actually attract bookkeeping clients. You need to mix it up. And I learned this the hard way. I made the mistake of I probably went maybe 6 months, maybe longer, honestly, maybe a whole year. Harrisburg Bookkeeping tip of the day. That was my slogan. That was the theme behind my social media marketing content. Harrisburg Bookkeeping tip of the day. And what I was trying to do was constantly think of something new. And this is a common error, I think, that a lot of new entrepreneurs make. Every day, I was trying to do something brand new. I was trying to recreate a genius marketing idea, a genius Harrisburg bookkeeping tip of the day. So I was combing through the IRS revenue code. I was combing through blogs and looking up advanced accounting concepts and bookkeeping things because I was trying to find new stuff to talk about. Because the first 30 days, I talked about all the basic stuff, all the entry level bookkeeping tips. But what I quickly realized was that nobody knows about bookkeeping. These people, it was a big mindset shift for me. About probably 2 years into my bookkeeping business, I had bookkeeping clients who still didn't know what a 1099 was. People were still asking me questions about credit cards, and they were still asking me questions about loan payments, and they were still asking me questions about receipts. It was at that point that a light bulb went off in my brain, and I realized these people need the absolute most basic bookkeeping concepts. And people need to hear it over and over and over again. People don't need to hear advanced tax strategy. If you're looking for bookkeeping clients, you don't need to comb through the IRS revenue code and come up with collegiate level tax strategy and bookkeeping and accounting concept content. Keep it simple. The tips can be very simple. Actually, it's the more simple the tips, the more simple your posts are to understand, the better. You're not going to impress anybody by posting really complex accounting jargon. You're just going to confuse people, and people are not going to learn anything. The whole point is teaching people, helping people. And you can repeat the same stuff over and over again. Look at some of the most famous influencers, some of the most famous educational influencers on YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. They just say the same stuff over and over again for two reasons. One, the same person needs to be reminded over and over again before they actually learn something, before it actually clicks, before they actually make a decision, before they actually change something, before they actually hire you. They need to hear the same thing over and over again. But two, your audience is going to grow. Your audience is going to change. People start businesses all the time. There are new entrepreneurs all the time. So just because you said something 2 months ago, you might be connected to 50 new business owners this month who didn't see your content from 2 months ago. So keep it super, super simple. 1099s, receipts, expenses, income. What do you do with cash payments? Who gets a 1099? What about payroll? How do I need payroll? Keep it super, super simple. It does not need to be complicated, and don't be afraid to repeat yourself. So I have three different types of posts: bookkeeping tips, QuickBooks tips, and then just general business, maybe strategy or business stuff, or sometimes a business update, and then personal stuff. You want to mix the educational content with the authority content and the personal story content. The whole idea here, we need to establish ourselves as a bookkeeping expert and a QuickBooks expert. So you're going to do that by talking about bookkeeping, talking about QuickBooks. Show people, wow, this Zach kid, he actually knows what he's talking about. He's always talking about bookkeeping. He's always talking about QuickBooks. I need help with my QuickBooks. It only makes sense. Let me call Zach because he's the bookkeeping expert. But then you also want to share the personal stuff, the story stuff. You want to share what's going on in your life. Now, everybody feels differently about the level of which they want to share. I'm not necessarily saying everybody has to post pictures of their kids or post videos of their family reunion. You can obviously keep things a little bit separate if you want, but it's really good to share some personal stories, some personal pictures of yourself, because that helps build trust. Because ultimately, we're not just selling bookkeeping services, but we are selling trust and stress relief and problem solving. And so we want people to trust us so that they believe that we will solve their problems. And we solve their problems by doing their bookkeeping. So, and we reduce their stress and we free up their time. So there's a lot of emotion that goes into selling bookkeeping services. So don't be afraid to post personal stuff. It absolutely helps build relationships with strangers on the internet. I know it seems weird. I know it's funky. And you probably see like, oh, well, the McDonald's CEO and the Starbucks CEO, they're not posting pictures of their family and trying to promote Starbucks. It's like, yeah, but they also have a massive team promoting their business. Like we need to operate differently than the big companies. We are just a owner operator, solo entrepreneur. We don't have anybody helping us. So we don't have a massive marketing budget. So we need to get creative and we just need to post content on social media. So keep it simple and mix it up and be personal. You can turn one idea into multiple posts across several platforms. So use this as an example with Zip Capital. What I talk about, I really hype up the potential of getting a new investor. So the single act of onboarding one new client or getting one new investor could quite literally turn into 2 weeks worth of content. Hey everybody, just I have a meeting. I have a meeting at the end of this week. I have a meeting tomorrow. I have a meeting today with an interested investor in Zip Capital. I have a meeting today with a potential client who might need help with their bookkeeping. And then you have the meeting, and then you say, hey, everybody, the meeting went super well. I met with this local business owner who runs this restaurant, and she's never had a bookkeeper before. She doesn't understand QuickBooks. I might be able to help her organize her finances and do her bookkeeping so that she can file her tax returns on time, so that she can free up her time and reduce her stress and run her business more efficiently. Hey, everybody, just sent out the quote. Fingers crossed. Hope she accepts my quote. I'll keep you posted. Good news. Ding, 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 ding. I just got my first client. Harrisburg Bookkeeping just got my very first client, this restaurant owner who I met with last week. I sent her a proposal, $400 per month, sent her the client agreement. She signed the client agreement. I just got my first bookkeeping client. 1 week later, just checking in. Things are going really, really well with my new restaurant who I just onboarded last week. I've already logged into the QuickBooks. I've already diagnosed several problems. I've already fixed a couple things that they were doing in their bookkeeping. I've already helped organize their balance sheet, and we've already started categorizing transactions. At the end of the month, just sent out my first profit and loss to my very first client. This restaurant owner now knows exactly how much money she made in November, exactly how much money she spent in November. I am so thankful to be able to help this restaurant understand their finances so that they can make more informed decisions in their business. Look at that. I just rattled off 5 or 6 different posts that you could post throughout the course of 30 days just by getting one simple client. And that kind of stuff, honestly, that hits. People love seeing those real world examples. And then people start getting FOMO. They start thinking, wow, geez, Zach's helping this restaurant business owner. I wonder how much he could help me. I always see him talking about bookkeeping. I always see him talking about QuickBooks. And he just sent out this person's profit and loss in the first 5 days of December. Man, I would really like to have that. Or with Zip Capital, I do the exact same thing. If you haven't followed me already, definitely check out my Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I do the exact same thing. I talk about new investor meetings. I talk about sending out monthly distributions. I talk about the properties that I fund, the real estate investors who I meet with. I try to hype it up. I try to create this FOMO of everybody who's not invested all of a sudden feels like an outsider because I'm talking to so many people. I'm meeting with so many people. I've got so many borrowers who I work with, so many real estate investors, so many investors in Zip Capital. Yeah. So you want to create FOMO, you want to create hype, you want to create excitement over something so simple as landing a bookkeeping client or even getting a $25,000 investment into Zip Capital. But one single event, getting a client, getting a Zip Capital investor, that can turn into an entire month worth of content. So hype it up. Stay consistent while you're trying to grow your business. You got to create content every single day. It doesn't matter what it is. It just has to be something. And I recommend don't use ChatGPT. There's too much content out there that is just cookie cutter, artificial intelligence, straight from the robots, and it's obvious. I skip through that in my news feed all the time because you can tell right away this person put zero effort. It's not authentic. It's not genuine. It's just cookie cutter, straight from artificial intelligence. Don't do that. Spend an extra 10 minutes. I would rather you post a story that is not great, but that's original and authentic to you. I would rather you post that than try to post something from ChatGPT that is just clearly a robot trying to tell a story, because it's not a good read. There's too much of it. The market is oversaturated with disingenuine, unauthentic artificial intelligence marketing copy. So don't do it. But you still have to post every day. Even if it's not great, you still got to post because you want to create the muscle memory. It's like going to the gym. I don't know if you've ever worked out consistently, but if you take a week off or if you skip one day for whatever reason, the next day it's so hard to get back in the gym. Eating healthy. If you eat healthy all week and then you have a cheat meal on the weekend, for whatever reason, that next day you're just slightly more tempted to continue those bad eating habits. So you got to stay consistent. You got to get in the habit, the routine of posting every single day. Now, how to create content? I literally just use my cell phone. Right now, I'm making this live video. Okay, so I will say the microphone is very expensive. This is like a $200 microphone. because I talk all the time. Like all I do is talk. So I want to make sure my voice sounds really crisp and really clear. The picture quality, not great. This webcam was only $40. So the picture quality is not great, but I want to make sure my voice is really high quality because that is the whole point of the content. I'm not shooting action shots outside. I'm not recording myself baking or organizing my closet or fixing my car. The content is just headshots of me talking, but the microphone, I will say, is very expensive, very nice. But other than that, I literally just use my cell phone to make content. The cell phone, your iPhone, your Samsung, whatever phone you have, has a really good camera, better than any camera you need. So you really don't need to go out and buy a $1,000 camera. You don't need fancy software. I just have my phone. You can edit your videos in TikTok or Instagram. You can add captions to your videos, all totally for free. You want to make it simple enough that you can continue doing it every day. If it takes you 3 hours to record and post and think of a video, it's not sustainable. So you have to come up with a way that you can quickly and efficiently create content. I'll just be honest with you. I've been doing this for a long time, and I am obsessed with marketing and promoting Zip Capital and Harrisburg Bookkeeping back in the day. So I am obsessed with promoting and marketing. So I think about it all the time, which definitely helps me come up with ideas. Literally all the time. When I'm getting dressed in the morning, when I'm working out, when I'm driving, when I'm working, when I'm making coffee, when I'm doing anything, I'm thinking about marketing and promoting my business. So that has helped me a lot because I'm just always thinking of new ideas. If that's you, then you're going to have an easy time creating content. But if that's not you, you have to be intentional. You have to time block during your day. From 9:30 to 10, I'm going to spend 30 minutes brainstorming content ideas. I'm going to spend 30 minutes researching. I'm going to spend 30 minutes planning. Whatever that looks like for you, you have to be intentional with your time. If you're not a natural, if you don't think about it all the time. But for me, I'm literally obsessed with it, which is a gift and a curse. I think about it all the time. So I don't really spend too much time intentionally thinking about it. I probably should. I probably should plan my content a little bit better, but I just think about it all the time. So it comes naturally to me. But if it doesn't come naturally to you, you have to go above and beyond and schedule time during your day, during your work day, to intentionally plan and strategize what kind of content you want to make that day. You can also track what's working. So you can double down on best practices. So check the data. Go back. Every platform has analytics. You can see which videos got the most views, which posts got the most impressions, which posts got the most engagement. Look at your posts. Now, with that being said, wait 30 to 60 days so you have enough data. Don't panic. Don't make 2 posts and look at them and say, we got 2 likes. This is terrible. This is not working. Wait, you got to be patient. Wait 60 days, but then check the data and see what's working. Relatively speaking, something's going to work better than other things. You're not going to have viral content right away, but you will have some posts that tend to do better than other posts. Do your research, check your data, check your analytics, figure out what's doing better, and then just do more of that. Do more of what's working and less of what's not working. And then finally, see what other people are doing. You don't have to live in a void and all alone. Like, I know as an entrepreneur, you can probably feel alone sometimes because you don't have any coworkers, you don't have a boss, you don't have a proper job where you work and SOP and things like that. But you can still look to see what other people are doing. You can follow me. All my social media channels are linked down below. You can follow me on social media for inspiration. You can follow other influencers, other content creators, other accountants, other educators on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn. See what other people are doing. Now, I'm not recommending that you copy and paste exactly what other people are doing. Of course, that's never a good idea. You want to be authentic. You want to be genuine. You want to be honest. But you can see what they're doing and you can tailor your content to be like theirs. So those are my tips. Those are my notes. Hopefully that was helpful. Now, if you're watching live, feel free to ask as many questions as you possibly can, and I'll be on for 10 more minutes. So I'm going to answer everybody's questions. Before I do that, real quick, I will mention this video is sponsored by Zip Capital. If you are an accredited investor and you have $25,000 or more and you want to invest in Zip Capital, there is a link down below. You can register on my website. I am offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to investors in Zip Capital. So what I do is I lend money to real estate investors. So all of my loans in Zip Capital are secured by a first lien mortgage on Pennsylvania real estate. So I charge my borrowers 12% interest plus an origination fee. That's how I'm able to pay you fixed returns of 8% up to 12%. So if you're interested, if you have $25,000 of cash sitting in a bank CD, money market, or savings account, this could be a great alternative to doing that. So check out my website, register on my website. I would love to talk to you. But the minimum is $25,000. I will just mention that. Okay, let's get to the questions. Chili Davids, hey Zach, in your course, you go over your sales pitch and you said that in order to give an exact quote, you need 3 most recent bank statements. Do you also ask for the credit card statements? Yes. Business credit card statements, business bank statements, you need both. Bookkeeping Conroe, Zach, good morning. I'm making bookkeeping masterclass for videos. Any suggestions for first audiences? Love your material. Thanks for sharing. Not really sure what you mean. Are you trying to get other bookkeepers to join your masterclass, or are you trying to attract business owners so that you can get them as bookkeeping clients? There's kind of a difference there. So let me know. Brent Killian, what do you use PandaDoc for beyond client agreements? In my bookkeeping business, nothing. That's not true. If you hire an independent contractor, any legal document that needs to be signed. So I have hired contractors in the past, and so I will have an independent contractor agreement that I would send to them, and I would use PandaDoc for that. ACH origination, ACH authorization. So if you need to collect bank information or credit card information to process payments, PandaDoc is great for collecting that information and signatures. 1099s, you could maybe have a W-9. You could have a W-9 on PandaDoc and then send it out to people and they can electronically sign their W-9. I also use it in Zip Capital. I use it for ACH authorization and for accredited investor self-verification forms. So any legal document, any document that needs to be signed, you could use PandaDoc for. But for the bookkeeping business, not really much beyond client agreements. Good morning and happy Friday, Zach. 2 weeks ago, I asked you, what was your favorite meal? This week's question is, what's your favorite dessert? Tiramisu. Hands down, absolutely love tiramisu. Don't get it nearly enough, but I love tiramisu. And also, I love dirt. So my grandma used to make dirt all the time. My mom makes dirt. My aunts make dirt. It's just chocolate pudding, Cool Whip, and crushed up Oreos. I don't like it with gummy worms, but I love dirt. It's one of my favorites. But tiramisu is probably hands down my favorite. I love tiramisu. I like pumpkin pie. I like apple pie with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce. Yeah. I like donuts too. It's not really a dessert, but I love donuts. My grocery store has cronuts. Is this a new thing? I don't know. Cronuts, they are amazing. They're croissants, but they're glazed like donuts. And they are, if you have donuts, you have donuts. But if you have cronuts at your grocery store or at your donut shop, you got to try one. It's one of the best donuts I've ever had. Crystal Lovington, what were your initial steps that you made the first 6 months to a year to get your business started? Honestly, I sound like a broken record, but it's the same thing, just social media marketing. I just create content every day. And then I find prospective clients in Facebook groups, and then I send friend requests. I started small with maybe 10, 15 friend requests per day, and then worked my way up to as many as I possibly could without my account getting dinged for spam. And then I engage with your audience, engage with your community on Facebook. And that just means comment on people's posts. And think about it like a networking event. If you sponsor a networking event, you pay for your banner to be put up, or you pay for your logo to be put on the brochure. That's very similar to paying for Facebook ads. So you can pay for a Facebook ad to be shown to your followers or whatever. But then if you sponsor a networking event, that's great. People are going to see your stuff. But if you stop there, it's not enough. You have to go to the event and you have to shake hands, meet people, have conversations, get contact information, follow up with them, build real relationships so that you can do the exact same thing on Facebook. So yes, you can pay for a sponsorship, you can pay for ads, but you actually have to connect with people, message people, talk to people, engage with people. It's all about relationships and trust. Good morning, Zach. I have learned a lot from you. I have 2 CPAs already partnering with me and sending me a client. Your videos have been very helpful. Kimberly Kendrick, round of applause. Congratulations. You are doing the right thing. So I appreciate you sharing and I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Jessica Lynn, happy Friday. How do you handle difficult clients? Do you lay down the law with them? It's all about establishing boundaries. No one's going to establish boundaries for you. It's up to you. So you have to clearly communicate effectively and you just have to be firm and you have to be willing to lose a client. You have to, and really, there's no way to learn this except through experience. So I did not have all these boundaries when I got started because I did not suffer the pain of having a difficult client. So there are a few things like sales tax and payroll, for example. In the beginning, a client asked me to do it. I did it. I said, yeah, sure, I can do that for you. I'm a bookkeeper. I'm an accountant. I can do payroll for you. I can do sales tax for you. And then I quickly realized that I hated it. It was really, it was, I don't want to use the word difficult, maybe complicated, maybe just, it was just extra stuff that I did not want to do. And so I quickly realized that I wasn't going to do it. And so I started telling people, nope, sorry, don't do payroll. And guess what? I lost clients because of that. But also, guess what? I reduced my stress. I freed up my time. I was able to work more efficiently on the clients I did have by saying no to sales tax and payroll. So you just have to, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things you're going to bend over backwards for clients. And then you're going to realize this is making me miserable. And then just moving forward in the future, you just got to stop doing it. You just have to be firm and you have to be honest and upfront and communicate. Just think of things. Say to yourself, okay, here's this thing. Maybe it's project tracking or maybe it's receipt matching. Like I actually just told a client recently, effective October 31st, I am done matching your receipts to QuickBooks. I'd be more than happy to train somebody on your team how to do it, but I am done matching receipts to QuickBooks. And in my mind, I knew that they might fire me because of this, and I was okay with that. I hate matching receipts to QuickBooks transactions. So I told him, hey, listen, sorry, but I'll still do your bookkeeping, but I'm done doing this. And I offered to train somebody on how to do it, and they took me up on it. But I was willing to lose the client over that because I hated it so much. So come up with a list of things that you don't like doing and just say to yourself, I'm done doing these. No matter what, I am done doing these extra things because they make me miserable and they stress me out and they give me anxiety. And that's the whole point of being an entrepreneur, is having the freedom and flexibility to do whatever we want and not do what we don't want. So take advantage of that. Amanda Rose, whenever you get a new client, do you go through the chart of accounts and get rid of all the default accounts that really don't apply to the client, reorganize, etc.? If it's really bad, I will do this. Yes, absolutely. And it pays dividends in the future. It might be a lot of work right now, but I promise you it pays dividends in the future. Clean up their chart of accounts, make it look nice, get rid of sub accounts that are irrelevant or not used, because every time you search, whenever you're categorizing transactions, if you have to search through 5 or 6 chart of accounts that are irrelevant and unnecessary, then it's going to slow you down every day. So spend the hour in the beginning, clean up their chart of accounts. It will definitely benefit you in the future. So yes, absolutely. I am funny about saying, Kimberly, I have to sneeze. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Kimberly, I am funny about saying I just got my first client. Not sure what that means, Kimberly, but you have to have no shame. You have to have courage and confidence, because to be an accountant, to be a bookkeeper, honestly, not that hard. There are tons of successful staff accountants, employees, really not that hard. But to be a bookkeeping entrepreneur, to be a bookkeeping business owner, that's a whole different story, because you have to be willing to do sales and marketing. That's the hardest part. So you have to know bookkeeping and know accounting, and then also be able to be a business owner, sales and marketing. So you have to have the courage and confidence to put yourself out there and do the marketing if you want to grow your bookkeeping business. If you want to get 10 clients and just relax and make $3,000 or $4,000 per month and just work part-time, you don't have to do marketing. But if you want to grow 20, 40, 60, 80 bookkeeping clients, you will absolutely need to do marketing. Steele, have you seen firsthand how much money business owners can save outsourcing their bookkeeping rather than going to a CPA? It's not about that. It's not about saving money. I don't offer cheap services, Steele. So actually, sometimes it's cheaper for them to go to their CPA and have them do their bookkeeping. I tell the story all the time. I just lost a client last year because they went to their CPA, but then guess what happened this summer? They came crawling back because their CPA was not actually doing their bookkeeping. So I do not. I do. If you tell me I can get bookkeeping done cheaper, I say great. Go get it cheaper if that's what you want. I don't offer cheap services. I offer high quality, white glove, very good, high quality customer service. I am in your books every single week. I literally log into your QuickBooks every week. I categorize all your transactions timely in real time. If you call me, I'll answer the phone. But right before this at 9:50 a.m., I had one of my clients call me. I don't file her sales tax, but she needed help figuring out how to get the information from QuickBooks. She called me at 9:50. Guess what? I answered her phone call and we fixed it right then and there on the spot. If she were working with a big accounting firm, I am 99% sure that she would not have been able to get a hold of her bookkeeper as quickly as she got a hold of me. Maybe she could, maybe it would take 5 or 10 minutes, press 9, press 1, talk to the receptionist, let me connect you. He's not in his office. Let me send you to his voicemail, leave him a voicemail, get a call back next week. That's what you get when you go through a CPA or an accounting firm. But when you hire us as bookkeepers, call me, I'll answer the phone. So that's what you get. You're not getting a cheap service, you're getting high quality customer service. How do you deal with the client's bank and credit card accounts that have been disconnected from QuickBooks? Do you have read-only access to connect yourself? Yes, that is preferred. That's why I prefer to have view-only access of my client's bank account so that I can reconnect those bank statements and those bank accounts to the QuickBooks bank feed. That's what I prefer. I don't always have it. So sometimes if it does happen, I have to send an email to the client. I'll say, hey, whatever client, and the subject might be reconnect bank account in QuickBooks. And then it'll just be super simple, super short. Hey, can you please go to QuickBooks, go to your bank feed? Can you please reconnect your American Express credit card to the QuickBooks bank feed? If you have any questions, give me a call. I'd be happy to help. That's it. That is it for today. It's been 30 minutes. I appreciate everybody's questions, and that is it for the day. So have a great weekend. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we will have an abbreviated schedule. Enjoy this weekend, enjoy next week as bookkeepers. Next week, everybody takes off. So if you have clients, they're going to have very few transactions and they're not going to be working. So enjoy next week with your family and your friends. Relax a little bit, take a couple of days off, and have a good time. I will see you all on Tuesday, 10 a.m. I go live every day at 10 a.m. So I will see you all on Tuesday. And if you want to check out Zip Capital, if you want to earn 8% up to 12% fixed returns, it's huge. You can register in my website. It's linked down below. Zip Capital, that is my investment fund. That is what I'm 100% focused on. So I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed weekend, and I will see you all next week. Thank you all so much.